Or what we learn is that we can create different objects within the drawings, and we adjust those geometry and create some sort of a different form. But other than having some form and geometry within my scene, sometimes I need some component to be added to my drawing. So for example, I want to add some personage, people, or like a furniture, or some other a object within my drawing. So in order to do that, SketchUp provides something called component. And the component, you can find the component by going to window, and then on the default tray, making sure that you turn on the component, and then on the default tray you can open up the component section. So on the component section you have a multiple tab here, and the home tab is just showing whatever component you already use or you have it in your drawing. So what I can do is that I'm going to click on this small bottom here, icon here, and then look at the different aspect that I can bring in. I can bring anything, including like, for example, architectural component from like, for example, let's say go to the like a small bridges that I can bring to my drawing. And you can see that I have small pieces that I can just download and bring to, like, for example, a window, or like, for example, let's go to the playground. Here in the playground I can just go here and then see I have a list of the things that I can just bring. So basically I can bring anything that I wish for to use in my drawing. So I'm gonna go, for example, for people. I don't have anything here, so I'm gonna go for, yeah, let's say component sampler, and here is some of the things that I can bring. Like, for example, I want to bring the crest, and I'm gonna have the crest, and then I'm sorry, let me just delete that. Just click on crest here, and then when I have it, I can bring it and place it in different position. When I bring the crest, if I want to add another crest here, I can just go over, click again on crest, and then bring it and place it wherever I want. Under the Edit tab, what you will see is that you have the option of changing let's bring this a little bit down, changing the face of the crest, so the crest can always face the camera, will be all the time flat. So if I go with selection, here under the info entry, I can adjust some of those things. So for example, don't cast shadow or cast a shadow, I can highlight that one, and don't receive a shadow or receive a shadow, so I can adjust those things as well. And there are some other information about that as well. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to use, for example, Derek here, and then I just bring and place it here. It's going to be the same thing for the couch. For example, I can bring the couch. Before I bring the couch here, I can just place the couch somewhere here. And for the couch, I have another option here that it's like some sort of what it says, like a small pieces right in front of the like an icon, and that means it's a dynamic component. So the dynamic component means that if I right click on the dynamic component, I have the option of, like, for example, component option. So if I click on the dynamic component, I can start changing some features that is available by the developer of that furniture, or like the developer of that object that I'm bringing here. So here, for example, it said the width of the cushion is 35 and I wanted something like 45, and I can apply to that, and that's basically change the size or height of this. I'm gonna go over the dynamic component, so I right click on the object and then go again to the dynamic component and look at the component options, see if I have any other option here. So these are the option of this. Doesn't give me that much of a option to change anything here, so I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to close this. So sometimes it provides some option that you can use as well. So that's basically a base of it. So let's say, for example, I'm going to go here and find another piece, and like, for example, car or fence. I'm going to bring the fence and place it right there. And For some objects that are basically dynamic component object, there are some other features that you can use. So for example, for this fence, if it says, if a dynamic, if I go here and use the, for example, the scale on this object, what had happened is that if I scale this up, after I leave it alone, it just adjusts to the new length. So that means that is some possibility of using like a scale in different format. I can also go to the dynamic component and go to the dynamic option, and I can change, for example, the spacing. Instead of 5, I can change the spacing to 20 inches, and then that's going to be a different like a format of this. So you see that is higher and that. So you have some possibility here to adjust the dynamic component in, or work with the dynamic component in a different way.